sending out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, Radford pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as the valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big dog sports talk, lighten up the dark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone.
Wherever you might be. It is the Hump-Day Wednesday edition of the program. Hence, the camel. Coming up here in just a little bit, Ron Shelburne's going to join us, the Radford Hall of Famer. He's got a story he wants to tell. Yeah. Kion Brown will join us coming up at the bottom of the hour, and then Damien Sordelett. Hey, what do you know? Virginia Tech football is actually going to allow media to talk to them. Who knew? What a concept. Get us up in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. Many people are getting in there already. And then BDST text line brought to you by Professional Door, 540-391-0788. So good morning to everybody. Chris and Steven and PLB. Yeah, temperatures in the 50s next week. Let's get the melt going and get rid of this nastiness. I hope everybody's doing well as we slide over the hump. Big night tonight for Radford Hoops as they host Winthrop, the conference co-leader with High Point. Matter of fact, it's a busy, busy week for Radford. They've got Winthrop tonight, then we go to High Point on Saturday. So a lot happening. We'd love to hear from you. And right off the bat, we're going to hear from that gentleman. He is the Radford Hall of Famer. Look at Ron. He gets up early only for me. Good morning, brother. What's up?
Only for you. Only for you. At first, at 5:30, I was thinking, whose idea was this to go on at 6 a.m.? Couldn't we have picked a more reasonable time, like 7:30? But then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I know the guy who said 6 a.m. It was me.
That was
and
you.
Of course,
that was you.
And, of course, I show up 7 minutes late.
No, you're good to go. It's perfect. We had to get through the open anyway, so it's good. Well, how you been, man? How you doing?
I've been good. Staying warm, man. Staying warm. How about yourself?
Yeah, well, we're getting there. We're in the final month of the season. And I know you got a great story that you're going to tell here in just a second. But take me back to when you were playing now. We're in the final month. February is big, right? Conference play and teams are positioning and you're starting to try to gain some momentum. And everybody, it sounds like a cliche, but I wanted to ask you, when did you realize your Radford teams had the most success? At what point in February did you want to start maybe making sure you were more consistent and being better and better?
Well, the formula that was always put out there for us, and I actually heard in a game the other day, I don't know if it was Billis or Rafferty or someone said the formula for winning the conference championship: win every game at home, conference games, and half on the road. And by the time you get into February, you know if you're going to be one of the top teams. By the beginning of February, usually you know pretty well about the mid to later part of January.
Sure,
you've got a good idea what it's going to look like. And February, I mean, it's these are the, gosh, I hate to say the dog days of winter, but when you get into conference play, and of course I know it, with bigger conferences, with more games, it just creeps into December as much as you can, but pretty much January and February, that's almost 100% interconference games, low scoring games. It's a lot of smash mouth basketball, injuries, and what's the old cliche? You got to play hurt. There's more ice, more heating treatments, more tape being put on ankles and whatnot. And so it's a challenge for the coaches, to keep teams motivated, to figure out what's the best mix between, we got to have good, hard, crisp practices, but we got to leave some in the tank for games.
Sure.
And, again, as Dr. Ron Bradley said, mental is to physical as 2 is to 1, and just the whole mental thing of it. And, beginning of February, you knew if you were going to have a chance or not. And so much can change in 1 week. Much can change on that in 1 week.
No doubt. Mm-hmm. What did you notice the difference in how you felt in November as you got toward February, the middle part heading into the tournament, your body and so forth, all the blows that it absorbed? Because, basketball is a contact sport, especially for you big guys.
It is a contact sport. That's what I always said, man. Not only are you having to change ends of the court, but when you get down there, you're having to start leaning on people, holding your position, beating and banging, that sort of thing. And here was the thing I always enjoyed. We would always take 2 pretty southerly trips throughout the conference season. Back in the day, Augusta College was in the Big South, and Augusta was good. They were good. So whenever we would go to Augusta, Georgia, in either January or February, it was great. Man, you get down there, you feel great. Honestly, it added pep to your step. It was a real advantage for us. Then we'd swing back and catch up Winthrop or somebody, and then we would go to Charleston. Charleston, South Carolina, play Charleston Southern. And back in those days, towards the last 2 years of my career, we had home and away each year with College of Charleston. So we got to stay down there for about, 4 or 5, 6 days, which was pretty cool. And so that was good. But November, you're feeling great, man. You're playing a lot of non-conference games. Those are the pride. Those are the ego games, proving that you can play against those other teams that may not have recruited you or what.
Right.
And, you're feeling good. Of course, back then, the preseason was officially a 45-day preseason. You started off the 15th, and you didn't really start playing till maybe the last couple days of November or, right off the bat, December 1st. Somewhere thereabouts. But once February comes, you've aged. You have aged.
You feel it. All right. Well, something that's become tradition since we started the YouTube show is when we have you on, you get into some great stories and people love. You've got one right off the bat here for us today on a Wednesday. So what do we got today from the Shelburne files, from the archives of Ron Shelburne?
Yeah, well, as my lovely bride said last night, I love your stories. They do have one common theme in them, you. And I'm like, hey.
Well.
And I'm like, it's one of my favorite topics.
That's right.
Forgive me. I'm just kidding. But looking at the schedule, whenever I see Radford Winthrop, that conjures up a lot of memories for me for a lot of different reasons. When I was in high school, Winthrop University, we could say they were officially the first Division I school to express interest in me. Coach Pat Burns sent me down. He took me down to Prep Stars basketball camp, which was an all-star camp along the lines of 5-star, that sort of thing.
Yeah, Prep Stars was huge. It was
big. It was big. It was the best $295 I've ever spent.
Yeah.
Because had Coach Burns not, prompted me to go there, I don't know that I would have gotten a college scholarship. After Mike Porter left, I thought the college scouts would continue to show up to Pulaski, but they didn't for some reason. But Winthrop was the first school back when we were doing in-home visits. The first night that they could go visit a prospective student athlete, they were right there. And great guys. The head coach Steve Vasindik, he was All-American guard at Duke. And he was part of the team. I saw a nice article on Krzyzewski a few years ago on the ACC network. And Steve Vasindik was interviewed heavily. He was in administration in Duke Athletics, and he was part of the team that brought Krzyzewski in to Duke. And he was interviewed heavily. And he was the head coach, a guy named Jeff Reynolds. Jeff has ties to Carroll County. Believe it or not. This is a fun fact, and I know I'm chasing rabbits, but what can I say? Jeff Reynolds was roommates with Clark Reese, rest in peace. Former, I guess, defensive line coach at Pulaski County, history teacher. Great guy, played football at the Citadel. Great story. He and Clark were roommates right when they got into the coaching biz and so forth. But he was assistant coach for Winthrop, and a guy named Ron Michaels. We remember these guys because, honestly, that season they kind of became kind of like family. And they told us up front, they said, we're going to attend every one of your high school games this year. And true, they had a coach. One of those three guys was at every game my senior year. And I remember we were at Cave Spring playing, and this was a snow game. And I didn't expect to see, you're focused on the game or whatnot, but these guys are calling you throughout the season. I didn't really know if they'd be there because I knew they were in New Orleans at a tournament. And they were between games. This was a Friday night game. I think they played Thursday. They played again Saturday. I looked up in the stand. There's Steve Vasindik. He flew up to Roanoke, came to the game, and then flew back to New Orleans. And, Mom would make cookies for him. At the end of the game, she'd give him a big batch of cookies. And, they became friends. But, as the season went on, I decided where I was going was Radford. There was less and less love. Or it was
sure. No more cookies.
Guys. Yeah. It was, Mom still gave me cookies.
Yeah, just not the best batch.
I got first dibs, as I always did. But so anyway, we were close. But, the last words they said to me was, Ron, best of luck, but we want you to know we are coming at you every single time we play you. And I said, all right, I really wasn't expecting anything different, but cool, And so first time we played Winthrop was down there. We had actually been at Augusta College on a Saturday, drove back up and picked up Winthrop down there in the Winthrop Coliseum, which is a good place to play, for a Monday night game. And this was smash mouth basketball at its best. It was physical. It was just a brutal night. And true to form, they came at me. I think in regulation, I had 2 points. But in regulation, I think we ended up tied at 40. Okay. Donnell Howard, who was a great small forward for Radford University, was here for 2 years. He was from the old Ferrum Junior College, if you remember when they were a junior college.
Yeah.
He and Pee Wee Barber, who went on to great things at Florida State and other places, played together. Donnell was our small forward. I think he was our high scorer at 10 that night. He carried the load. And so I remember coming off that game. It was just, physical, whatever. And we're coming off the court. We go into overtime. And I keep thinking, oh, man, the coach is going to be upset. We only scored 4 points or whatever. But they were professionals. They knew this. This is kind of what to expect. They were hyping us. They were excited that we got it to an overtime game. And they saw it. So, that kind of gave you a little life. So we go into overtime. Again, nothing changes. I mean, it's just back and forth, just hard basketball. And the refs, look, I'll give them credit. They called a consistent game. And I would say they called a good game because they were the same on both ends. They kept it under control. Yeah, this wasn't a slugfest where people were about to fight. It was just physical basketball.
Sure.
And so, as this overtime goes, we trade a couple baskets or whatnot. And Joe Davis had a play for me, okay? And what it would be is me and Swan Wainwright, okay? We were the two post players. We would move from the low post to the high post, okay? And the play ultimately was designed for me to get a shot on the wing of about a 17, 18-foot jump shot on the wing, okay? And we had some success with it. Point guard kind of fakes my way, goes opposite. Post player comes, sets a screen, and I flare out on the wing, catch the ball, and try to do whatever. So we run that play. I come around, I catch it. I got the jump shot. Coach Davis, he felt comfortable with me shooting in that range. And I remember I shot, and there's probably 2 minutes left in this game. And it was weird. I missed the shot, but I remember coming down the court. I'm like, I shouldn't have missed that. I don't understand it. It was one of those weird things. I don't know if it's the Coliseum or what, but the depth perception. It was one of those times where, when you're up shooting a jump shot, it's almost like you're shooting level with it. Now, it wasn't so high off the floor that was the case, but it was just like I was almost shooting down at it. I don't know what it was, but I thought I should not have missed that shot. I'm not going to miss that again. Trade baskets, and Winthrop goes ahead 46-44. Okay. And we have the possession. We have last possession. It looks like this is going to be the last possession. Okay. So we come down and we run the exact same play. I'm like, yes. All right. We're going to overtime. I'm nailing this. We're going to another one. I'm not looking forward to a second overtime with this crew, but I don't want to lose. So we're starting to run the play. Rod Cousin, who's the point guard back then, was a great point guard.
Great point guard.
Yeah. In the history of Radford, his son was on that last NCAA tournament team.
Yeah.
Rod comes down, does his thing, but for some reason, I think the Winthrop was tough that year. They really were good. They put so much pressure. They drove him down in the area where I'm supposed to come out at. They push him down there. He's dribbling the ball. So, I'm coming across the lane, bam, the area where I'm supposed to be at. There's Rod. Okay. So, okay, whatever. Joe Davis always, drilled in us. Look, if we're running a set play, and if for some reason another one of your teammates is in the position you're supposed to be, don't let it ruin your day. Don't assume we're not going to, score on the play. Just fill into where they're supposed to be. You should know the plays. You should know where everybody's supposed to be. So I said, all right. So instead of going to the wing, I couldn't because he was there. That wouldn't have been
standing good. There. Yeah.
I stop. Well, I just shoot straight to the top of the key. Okay. Straight to the top of the key where the point guard was supposed to be. Okay. Now, nowhere in Winthrop's scouting report do I believe anything was said about number 42 from Radford as a 3-point threat. Okay. I just was, I just operated on the assumption that wasn't happening. So I come out there. Well, time is ticking down. this is a tense game. Both teams want to win. And look, there was, you know, the Radford-Winthrop series. I don't know if it's just because it's a 2-hour shot between the schools. Both schools are very similar. There's always pre-1988.
Yeah.
And this was January 1988. I'm really dating myself. It was always just a tough series leading up to tonight. That's something about when Winthrop.
Yeah.
When you see that, you're like, I want to beat those guys. But,
I know.
So I swing to the top. Time is ticking down. I mean, you can hear people just kind of like, all right. I mean, you can just feel it, the tension kind of boiling. Rod is, you know, surveying, you know, just dribbling, looking around, seeing what's open. And I'm standing at the top of the key. He starts to kind of come back, looking around. And, you know, keep in mind, you know, I'm not missing this shot on this set play again, even though I was at the top of the key now, not in my normal spot.
Not in your normal spot, yeah.
So Rod's just dribbling, looking around, and it's like he almost just stopped, picked the ball up, and kind of underhanded it to me. I mean, that's what I remember. I'm sure it was a nice chest pass or whatever, but it was just kind of like,
here you go.
Like, here, it's yours.
Yeah. Take it.
So he did. That's all he had to do. I mean, I just had it in my mind. All right, I'm locked in on this. I took it, I cocked it, and fired, and bam. Drained it. Okay. Horn sounds. There's chaos. You know, nobody knows what happened. No, everybody knows, okay, we made a shot. All right. Was it a 3-pointer? Because the refs had not called what it was.
Oh, they had not signaled.
They did not signal anything. We didn't know what was happening. So I just knew I was at the top of the key. So I turn, you know, here's Joe Davis coming to the scorer's table. It's a three. Steve is Sindek down. No, his foot was on the line. And I knew my foot was not on the line. A pet peeve of Joe Davis's, and probably every coach, was when you're shooting jump shots, especially at the when you're shooting around the 3-point line, you better either be beyond the 3 or inside the 3.
Yes.
Do not have your foot on the line. And in preseason, you know, we ran pretty much the same drills. We would have 3-point shot drills that I would participate in. So I knew I was either one way or the other. My foot was not on the line. And I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know where I was. I just knew I was at the top of the key. So the refs, to their credit, they get together. And there was a taller, I guess he was the lead official or whatever.
Yeah.
They're coming in there. They're going towards the scoring table. Well, they stop.
And there's no replay, by the way, everybody. There's no replay. So this isn't. It's not like you can go, oh, let's look at the monitor. This isn't. Yeah.
Oh no, not at all. No, the refs had to pay attention the whole time. Not that they don't now.
Yeah.
But there was no replay except the next day when the coaches are looking at it, the scouting, the game film that they record, and then there's a replay. Then
sure.
But, So they huddle up right there beyond the scorer's table. You know, they get the scorer's table. They put their hands up. The coaches cease and desist. You know, and I'm sitting there. I'm 18 years old. I'm thinking, you know, that's the coaches, but I kind of feel like I've got a vested interest in this. So I start going towards the coaching table. I'm like, I want to see what's happening.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, Steve. The refs, you know, the head officials, he's looking at both of them. You know, they're talking 2 or 3 things. You know, we don't know. Is the game over? Okay, is the game over? Did the horn sound? Whatever. They're doing this fast, efficiently. And I remember him, it seemed like this was 10 minutes. Seemed like an eternity. The official looked at each one of them. One nodded his head. He looked at the other one, nodded his head. So they're in agreement. So he emerges. He goes to the scoring table, and I'm right there. Here's Joe Davis, Steve Vasendek, this 18-year-old kid from Snowville, Virginia. Like, I want to be in here on this too. And so the referee goes to the table. Everybody's just looking at him. And he puts 2 fingers up. And I'm like, oh, geez, 2-pointer, whatever. He puts 2 fingers up, and he says, 2 seconds on the clock. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I can live with that. All right, but come on. What else you got? What else? And he paused. And everybody's looking at him, and then he puts his hands up, says 3-pointer Radford. Well, the whole place on our bench, we're just cheering.
Yeah.
We won. And the coaches are happy, but Joe Davis and his crew, and he had a really strong coaching staff that year. He had Phil Hopkins was his associate head coach, and Phil went on to had a head coaching job at Western Carolina, got them to the NCAA tournament. Phil, a great story, proposed to his fiance when they're celebrating the Southern Conference tournament win. As they go, CBS covered it.
Wait, we still had 2 seconds to defend, though.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Yeah. But it's great staff, So Coach Davis, Phil Hopkins, Rick Cormany was on that staff, Kenny Osborne, Bill Lilly. So Coach Davis, as happy as they are, being the professionals they are, they're like, come on. We got to set a defensive play. 2 seconds. This game ain't over. Everything from they can hit a shot, they can draw a foul. So we set up a defensive set, 2 seconds, and we had our positions. Boom, they inbound the ball, and for whatever reason, it came towards me, towards the Winthrop bench. It was right where I was. I just step out. I'm being careful not to foul.
Oh, yeah, on the road.
Because those guys would have loved to see me do something dumb like that. I get it, I hold it, horn sounds, game over. And I'm sitting right there, standing right there with the ball as the buzzer sounds at Winthrop's bench. And I remember looking up, and there's Steve Vasendek, who came to every game. And I just extended my hand and said, "Good game, coach." And he said, "Good game." And,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
I think it was the last time he spoke to me. No, he did. But whenever I think of Winthrop, I always in the Winthrop Coliseum, and anytime we go to the beach and I go through Rock Hill, I tried to, every time we would go through there, taking the family to the beach through Rock Hill, I would try to detour and go to the Winthrop Coliseum and just walk them through that.
It's a fun place. I like it. I still like it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought the kids would enjoy seeing me walk everybody through that.
Walk through the whole play. Yeah, that's cool.
But they said, no, we just want to go to the beach. So
sorry, Dad. We'll stop on the way back. Wink, wink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but let me tell you about it.
Yeah, but I'll tell you about it anyway, right? When we get on the beach, I'll tell you about the story. We'll draw the court on the beach. Oh, that's great. Where are you going today? You're traveling, right? Is that where you're headed?
I'm traveling. I'm going, and this has some basketball notoriety, this little town. I'm going to the town of Gate City, Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah. Home of Mac McClung. I think they've got a mural of Mac down there somewhere. I may try to find it and snap a picture.
Yeah, you should do that. That's great.
And going to see some of the great agents of Farm Bureau down in Southwest Virginia. It's weather permitting. It's going to be a great day.
Well, and speaking of Farm Bureau, we'll have Marty and Rags on next week. Coach had hernia surgery.
Ooh.
So he'll be on next Wednesday with Marty. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So that'll be
fun. We got to get you some Farm Bureau gear. Those guys wear that Farm Bureau gear.
We will, yeah. I'll make sure. I'll find out for sure. I think I'm right though on the sizes. So
okay. Let's nail that down quick.
Yeah.
Order is going in.
That's it. Well, great stuff, brother. Thanks for jumping on early, man. That's a great story. Everybody's saying tell Ron hello. So
hey, big dog, I love you, man. I love the show.
Too,
love all you peeps.
You too, brother. Be safe in your travels. Come see us down at Deadman.
I will. Take care.
All right, brother. Thanks for jumping on. That was great. That was awesome. Big Ron Shelburne here on the program. Good way to start here today. But Ron wanted to come on, and I hadn't talked to him in a while, and he needed to come on early. We were going to have him on like later in the show, but he said, hey, how about we do it right off the start? And I said, sure, why not? Be something different. Let's do it. So we go from one Hall of Famer post player to another Radford unbelievable post player.
Rick, I see you, buddy, but I can't hear you. Let me fix something on my end.
It might be I might have to send you another invite. I think it's something
I'm doing. Let me see.
I don't think so.
I can't hear you. I don't
think so. Yeah, hang on. Let me send you another invite. Yeah, hang on. Hang on just a second. Hang on. This is the dreaded, the glitch that I've told StreamYard about now like 6 times, and they still have not. Fixed it. But for some reason, when somebody leaves the studio, it doesn't fix. How about now?
I got you, buddy.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's something with this studio. It's not you.
Okay, I got you.
I've sent them like 5 or 6 messages with something about when you have 3 people and somebody leaves for some reason, when the next person jumps on, they can't hear.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. How you been, man? First of all, how's everybody feeling?
Everybody's good. Everybody's good. I'm sick of the snow outside. Now I'm sick of snow.
Oh, yeah. From day one. I mean, it's terrible. It's the worst thing in the world.
It's ridiculous, man. We've been out of school forever.
How much did you guys end up getting between the 2 combined storms?
I think it was about 8 inches, maybe. There was a ton of ice, though. It was like the ice turned into concrete.
Correct.
I was like, what is this? I've never seen anything like that in my life.
No, it's just not. No, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, man. How much you in Radford? Radford's got a lot, right?
Oh, yeah, we got a lot, man. Saturday was we got a lot here Saturday evening, so we got like 8. We got about 8 here. I measured total about 8. Yeah. So
you guys out of school today? The kids out?
They have been. I think most of them are going back late around the area today, like 2 hours late.
Yeah.
So and we were out. We had a virtual day Monday at Radford still. Because it's taken them a long time to get the roads clear because, like you said, it's just ice. It's ice packed down on the roads.
Right. Yeah, man.
So they can't do much about it. Hey, Wayne's asking, he said he sent you a LeBron doll.
Yeah.
Did you get a LeBron doll from Wayne?
So he sent me a picture of one, and then I sent him a picture that I already had it. He was like, of course you already have it.
Oh, that's cool, though.
Yeah, that's nice, man. I love Wayne.
What was it? Just like a action figure? Or
so it was the LeBron Barbie doll.
There's a LeBron Barbie doll?
Yeah, wait right here.
Oh, he's going to go get it. I got to see this. He's got a LeBron Barbie doll. Hey, there we go.
Yeah, man. These things were all the rage when it came out.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Man.
Now that's something that'd be cool. You can say, "Hey, man, could you sign this for me?" Just
absolutely. Yeah, man.
In front of it there. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Pretty cool. Well, that's pretty nice of Wayne.
Wayne's the man. Wayne's the man.
It's got to be tough though to think about something that you would not have from LeBron. I can't think. Like, I know shoes. You're looking for game shoes and things like that, right?
Yeah. I got one. I think he's done next year, so I got one more year to try to get that stuff.
So it's got to be tough. Yeah. All right. So I want to ask you from a tech perspective now. It's pretty clear that Nito has hit the wall, the freshman wall. You hit the freshman wall. You've told your story here on the program. What do you do? Even a guy as talented as that, making as much money as he is, what can he do now as we get toward the middle of February coming up? What does he need to do as a player? What did you have to do to kind of correct hitting that wall, regardless of talent level, regardless of how much money you're making?
Well, I just had to push through and lean on the coaches and lean on extra work and get out of your head. And another thing I think that works for players is watching an old game where you had a really good game and just reminding yourself of how good you actually can be. The good thing with Neo is that the NBA goes off of potential now. So he'll still be a first-round pick because the NBA, it doesn't matter what you do in college. You see guys in college average 5 points, and they be first-round picks. So he's going to be fine. But at the same time, for the Hokies, every game is a must-win. I talked to Coach Byers yesterday, and I was like, you guys got a big one on Saturday. He said every game moving forward is a big one. Yeah. I say, yeah, man, but this NC State one, man, for both teams, that's why it's so big for me. Is like you guys are pretty much the same. So, this is one of those games where you'll look back and say, that's the one we had to win. And that's the one that has been the difference of making the tournament and not making the tournament. So you pretty much control your own destiny. But I see a lot of similarities from that team that won the ACC tournament when, it was an up and down regular season. And then we were on the air. I said, I got a feeling that something's about to happen for Virginia Tech. and they're about to just string it together and win the tournament. And they ended up winning it. But Neo, he's a guy that has to play well for them to win the tournament. I think he will get back to where he was. But like you said, it's that freshman wall, man. It's a real thing. When I went through it, it was about a month until I had a good game again. And I remember it. We were down at High Point in the old gym, the little small one.
Yep.
And, I just had an amazing first half. I think I had like 14 points in the first half, and I could not miss. And it just clicked for me that night. And I think eventually the same will happen for him as well. He's such a talented player that a lot of times, too, he likes to let the game come to him. Sometimes it's okay to force the game. Sometimes it's okay to go out there and be aggressive. And I think if he does that, the game will come back to him, and he'll be the player that people think he can be and the player that we know he can be.
You're close with JD. I mean, so in other words, they know the urgency of this next 2 games.
Absolutely. Yes, they 100% know. Yeah,
they really do. And it's huge. We're in February. So
it's crazy because whenever you get to February, you're automatically 3.5 weeks away from somebody's conference tournament starting. So it's like, the end is near. And if you're not playing your
best basketball or you're not trending in that upward direction, you're pretty much
not going to be playing much basketball for very long. And they understand that they have to win games now in order to get to where they wanted to go. And that's ultimately the NCAA tournament. That's the goal for Tech. And they have the roster, the talent, the coach. You just got to string it together. Those first 3 losses were not ideal, right? It wasn't nobody could predict the way that they would start or lose their first 3 conference games the way that they did. They did. It's over with. You move forward, but now you got to string together some wins.
What's frustrating, and if they could just get healthy, how much different they would look. They're finally looks like they're getting Johnson back this week, and I hate that they've had to be against the 8 ball as long as they have in terms of not having a full roster. It's frustrating because we haven't seen the full Tech team as it was envisioned coming into November, December, right? Because everybody's beat up, or at least 1 or 2 guys. And so it's got to be frustrating. I know they've worked hard to fight through it, but there's only so many setbacks with health that you can accept, right, and absorb.
Yeah, and at the same time, I've been covering a lot of teams this season who's dealing with health problems. So I'm not sure what's up with that. It's almost like the NFL, with all these guys getting these ACL injuries. I don't understand it this year for college basketball and how many teams that aren't healthy. I just don't get it. But if you can get your guys back now, obviously that's a positive sign. But at the same time, when you face those teams who haven't had to deal with the injury bug, you're going to be in a position where you're trying to get this guy back acclimated. He's going to be an important piece, or these 4 guys or 5 guys on the court haven't played together. And it could ruin you at the end of the day. So you got to be strategic about how you play certain guys, because it's a real thing when you're out for a while and then you got to get back in the game and you got to get yourself back into a rhythm, back into a flow, and you just don't have it. So you got to figure out a way to try to make practice as game-like as possible, which is hard to do because there's nothing like live game reps. But if you can find a way to make it as close as possible, that's your best bet as a coaching staff.
Well, I'm telling you, Duke is a little different, aren't they?
Yep. Cameron Boozer's a beast.
Cameron Boozer's not normal.
God.
He's not normal. Yeah. Got to watch him pretty much last night for the first time up close, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
This guy's the number 1 pick.
Yeah. He won't be, but he should be.
No, he won't be, but he should be. Yeah. He's got everything. He's got everything to be a very special player.
I hate whenever I watch Duke play,
and somebody says it. He's not the most athletic guy.
He's athletic enough. Sure, he's not Vince Carter or Michael Jordan or prime LeBron and none of those guys jumping 58 inches off of the ground. But at the same time, who else is? He's just as athletic as he needs to be. His skill chart is off the chain. Like that kid can pass the ball. He can shoot it. He can play on the inside. He just destroyed Virginia Tech over the weekend. It was nothing that they could do with him. Yeah. He's just a really good player. And when your dad was the number 1 pick, I think it was in the 2000 draft coming out of Duke, he knows what the pro game is going to be like. He's already a pro. That kid is unbelievable. But I'll say another thing. I was watching Jamal Mashburn this weekend, and he said that if Cooper Flagg were in
this year's class, he'd be the 6th best freshman. How ridiculous is that to say? That was the most ridiculous thing I heard all weekend.
Yeah.
That kid just had 50 in the NBA last week. And you're comparing him to players that are in college right now. Some are barely struggling to score 11 points that you had ahead of him. Like, what are we doing?
I know.
Like, what are we doing? Come on, man. Don't compare a college player to a guy that's in the NBA right now that's supposed to be a freshman that just turned 18, I believe. He just turned 18 last month.
I know.
Was it 18 or 19 last month? Man, come on, man. If that dude was in college, he'd be the best player in college basketball right now.
You know, dudes in that network are just paid to say things. They're not paid to say things that are smart or know what they're talking about. They don't care about that on that network.
Oh, my goodness. That kid is unbelievable. So young. Come on, man. What are we doing?
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care. So who are we looking at now? Who's the best team in the country? I mean,
the best team in the country. A lot of folks are saying Tommy Lloyd in Arizona, and I get it. I do. But I like Michigan. I really do. I like the Wolverines. I know that those guys were dominating at the beginning of the season, kind of came back to reality a bit, but some teams at the top. Arizona is a team that I think is finally going to make a Final Four under Tommy Lloyd. I'll say that. UConn is really good, but the Big East isn't that good. No. They play St. John's in the Garden this weekend, so that'll be a big test for them. Can't wait to see that one. But if I had to say off the top of my head, the best teams are Arizona, Michigan. I'm going to throw UConn in there, even though the jury is out a bit because of the Big East being so weak. It's probably one of the worst conferences in college basketball as a whole. And I'm going to throw Duke in there as well.
I would.
Yeah, I think those are the 4 right now. If I had to say a Final Four, those would be my teams.
The only game they lost was that game, to Texas Tech?
Texas Tech, yeah.
Neutral game early by, a point or so. So they could be undefeated right now.
Yep, they surely could. And they certainly have the talent. And then they got the star in the middle who can win you games. So they got everything that they need. And then the committee's going to put them in the easiest bracket. So
of course.
Yeah, of course. It's every time. They're going to cruise to the Final Four.
But, I think I won't say I'm surprised, but I think they've done a nice job. What they've done, they had to recover after Krzyzewski left, right? But he handpicked the coaching staff basically on his way out the door. They have hit their stride now, haven't they? Kind of the new regime down there in Durham.
Yeah, and Coach Shai is doing a great job.
He is. He's doing a good job, man. Yeah. He is.
I think this is year 4, I think. So I think he's been he's won 2 ACC tournaments. He's been to a Final Four. The next step is that national championship. He's got the team to do it. So he might get it this year. I mean, he's doing an excellent job recruiting, hasn't tailed off from that. All these one-and-done guys coming in, they're doing a great job through the transfer portal, but they're still doing it with freshmen as well. You think of Cooper Flagg, we just talked about, now Cameron Boozer, and then you talk about Paulo Banchero was there as well. So you got 3 guys in the last few years that played under Coach Shire that was, that are going to be NBA superstars at the end of the day. And they're freshmen too. So it's not like, when everybody right now is going through the transfer portal to get their talent, they're still going through high school and I wouldn't say developing because those guys are pros in high school, but getting the right pieces out of high school to come right in and fit right into what they're doing.
Have you moved? What's your pecking order now? Duke, Virginia. Have you moved Carolina up any in the pecking order?
I still don't. I'm still not I haven't been on Carolina all year. I'm still not. Defense is awful. Point guard play is inconsistent. I'm just not a believer in North Carolina right now, but I think the ACCs is Dukes to lose. UVA will be right there, especially if they get hot. They shoot so many threes. With Michael Brown coming back from injury for Louisville, they're going to be right there as well. And the team that I think can compete for a Final Four appearance, it's all on his health, though. If he's healthy, they'll be one of the toughest teams to beat in the country. But his health has been so inconsistent that you haven't gotten the Louisville team that we expected to have before the season started. So ACC is Dukes to lose, in my opinion. You have to go through the Blue Devils yet again, and it'll be Cameron Boozer, Coach Shire. If you can beat those guys, good luck. That's what I'll say. But it's going to be tough to beat those guys.
So just your opinion, if you talk with Coach, I mean, how many more losses can Tech absorb before all of a sudden they're knocked off the bubble and they're going to have to do some special things in the tournament? What do you think with 7 losses now?
It ain't many. I would say 9 at the most. So you can give yourself 2 more. And then at the same time, it's who you lose to as well. You can't lose those ones that you are supposed to win. You still got North Carolina at North Carolina on the 28th. So that'll be a big win if you can steal that one. That's a winnable game to me because you never know what you're getting from the Tar Heels. And then the next week, you're pretty much in the ACC tournament. So if you can hold home court and win your games at home, I think you got to beat NC State this upcoming weekend to keep yourself right there in the tournament. And then you beat North Carolina at the end, and then win at least 2 games in the tournament, you should be good. But I think that Virginia Tech, at their best, they can win the ACC tournament like they did a few years ago. Everything just has to be clicking at the right time for the Hokies, though.
And be healthy.
Yep, and be healthy.
Great.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, everything has to align, just like
when they won the tournament under Coach Young,
the first ever tournament in Hokie history. Everything has to align.
Chris is asking about what do you think about Kion Anthony?
Oh, he's a really good player, I think. I don't think he's ready for the NBA yet,
but I think one more year at Syracuse or maybe even the transfer, because we hear rumblings out of Syracuse that everybody on that roster is not happy with,
or the alumni is not happy with how the Orange look right now.
They want change in that basketball program immediately. And I don't think they're going to get it till after the season, but I think he's a really good player. When your dad's Carmelo Anthony, one of the best 25 players in the history of basketball, all you have to do as a prospect and as his son is just listen to him, and you'll be a fine player. He's a fine player, and I think one more year in college basketball would do him good.
Yeah, like Tebow says, the A-10 is top-heavy. George Mason's one of those teams, right? 20-2.
Yeah.
For the Patriots.
Oh, Tony Skinn's not going to be there.
He's not going to be there. He's out of there.
He's too good of a coach.
Yeah. Yep. Tony Skinn's going to be out of there, and the guy that he replaced, Kim English, is going to be out of Providence as well.
The Friar fans can't stand him right now. They're going to run him out of town.
And the rest of the A-10, St. Louis is really good. VCU is, when they're at their best, obviously can win the A-10, but they aren't like the VCU team that we've known to come to love of the past.
They're very beatable. And I like Coach Martelli Jr., but it's just something different about this VCU team than what we've been used to for the last, 16 years or so.
Or even before that when Jeff Capel was the coach.
Yeah.
There's something different, something off.
They had an identity over the years with Shaka and how it continued on with Coach Rhodes. Now it seems like it feels different when you watch them play.
Yeah, exactly.
Even with Jeff Capel and you had Eric Mena there.
Yeah, right.
First year, first round draft pick on your roster. And then Anthony Grant comes in and he inherits Eric Maynor, and then they beat Duke in the first round. And then Shaka Smart, we know about all the havoc and what they brought. And then, Will Wade, and then Mike Rhodes, and then Coach Bennett. All of those guys have won. And, VCU has the roster to win, but it's like we said, it's just something about them. I can't put my finger on it. I think it's the inconsistent defense from the
Rams that we aren't accustomed to seeing. We knew that they will always have defense, but this year it's like,
this focus is offense and defense is secondary.
Well, and looking at our Highlanders, big week. Winthrop tonight at High Point on Saturday. Big sweep over the weekend. Neither game was easy, but they got it done. They got Charleston Southern and at Presbyterian. Winthrop tonight, basically a pick-em type of game. First game was the last-second three. Winthrop won down at their place. How do you see the Highlanders handling this week? What do you think?
It's going to be tough. You got to win that one tonight, though, at home. You playing against the Big South Player of the Year.
Duncombe is the Big South player. That kid is unbelievable. He is playing the best basketball in the league right now. You're talking about efficient. I don't think there has been a player as efficient as him probably since Chris Clemens. That's from an efficiency standpoint. And he is just dominant. I think how much he had the first game versus Raf, like 26 or something like that.
He didn't play well. No, he shut him down first game.
Oh, yeah? I could have sworn he finished with 20.
Well, he may have got to the free throw line a lot late, but they did a nice job. Tyson Brown did a nice job.
Okay.
Did a nice job.
But you got to have that same game plan tonight because nobody in the league has been able to stop him. But it sounds like Radford is slowing down. I could have sworn he had a huge game, but
he did. Their guards.
I was on the call that game.
Yeah, their guards is what really hurt us first time around against those guys. But it's big. It's just big for the Highlanders. I mean, maybe guys are finally getting used to play one another. We knew it was going to take a while, right? I mean, you got so many guys coming in from different places. It's not going to just happen overnight.
Yeah.
But
and that's,
and at the same time, we can't use that as an excuse because everybody has to go through that.
Everybody's got to do it.
Right.
Duncan ended up with 17 in that game.
Okay.
He was only 5 of 11.
Okay.
So
you got to get him more shots. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, we did about as good a job on him as anybody has done.
But I don't think there's anybody
right now close, especially with the first half of the
conference slate being over. He is 100% the player of the year. Like Winthrop's about to get another one. They have to have the most players of the years in the history of the Big South. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. As you get into February, KB, how much does it really show the backcourts that can pull you through a tournament and the ones that don't quite have it? We kind of saw it with Presbyterian. They have maybe the best combined front court in the league, Presbyterian up front with Pierce leading the way, the player of the week, but their backcourt's not very good. Radford has a very good backcourt. How important do backcourts become this time of year?
Well, guard play wins in March. If you think about all of the
last few winners of the NCAA tournament, conference tournaments, has always been the teams with the best backcourt. You think of Florida last year and Walter Clayton Jr. That kid was unguardable.
Oh, my gosh.
Dominated. You think of
High Point last year, and you have Kessa Jiffa. Kessa Jiffa struggles in the tournament. Winthrop goes up big in the second half, and I forget the kid's name, the kid with the dress from High Point. He ended up being Big South tournament MVP. He was so good, so you got a guy like that who comes off and fills the slack for Kessa Jiffa struggling. And then you go back a few years ago with UNC Asheville. UNC Asheville was getting crushed by Campbell in the tournament championship. And then you got Tajay Jones shooting all of those threes, bringing them back into the game. So if you don't have the guards, you're not going to win in March. It's impossible. You can't think of a team that didn't have the guards. You just have to have them. It's so important.
Well, and that's what Radford's got in their favor.
Yeah.
We've got really good guards. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, man.
Well, it's good stuff. Where are you guys tonight? Longwood.
Longwood's on the road. There could be a situation where there's no more
home games for me for Longwood. We'll see. I know Radford ends it on the 28th, and I'm trying to do everything in my power to
make it to that game, but I'm supposed to be in New York that weekend. So it's a heartbreaker.
What are you doing in New York during college basketball season?
It's New York, man.
Come on, man. It's New York.
Yeah, but they only have 2 home games left, I believe. Actually, next week versus UNC Asheville was picked up by the wild card game.
Yep.
And that final one versus Radford,
which I'm trying, but we'll see.
What's going on with Longwood? They're struggling a little bit.
Yeah, they're inconsistent.
That was a bad loss to USC Upstate. A bad loss.
Yeah, and it wasn't really close versus High Point as well. So those guys got to get back going. But they got the roster to be good as well. But, when they won it 2 years ago, it was the same thing. They weren't the greatest in conference play. And then, like we see in so many one-bid leagues, somebody gets hot at the right time and they end up winning the whole thing. It happens every year.
Every year.
Big South, the SoCon CA, the Atlantic Sun, whatever the case may be. Those one-bid leagues, somebody's going to catch lightning in a bottle and just win the whole thing.
Yep.
It's inevitable. Somebody's going to do it.
And then they'll go into either the first 4, win that game, and then they're going to be matched up against the high seed. And all of a sudden, you look up at halftime, and there's that team hanging right in there with a number 1 or 2 seed for a while, right?
Yeah, it was Coach Donnie Lynn in Mount St. Mary's
last year, right? They get the first 4. They win their game, but then, unfortunately, they got to play Duke and Cooper Flag in the first round. But
how'd it go talking to Coach Lynn? I know you called one of his games.
Yeah, I called the game last
week. It was against Quinnipiac. It wasn't good.
Quinnipiac dominated that game.
Yeah,
Quinnipiac is one of the most explosive offenses
in mid-major basketball.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a good league. The MAAC is a really good league. That's a good league. People may not.
Really good league.
Yeah, it's a good league. It's a good league. Well, all right, my friend. Great stuff. Great to see you as always. I'm so glad the household's feeling better.
Yeah, man. We're good, buddy.
We're good over here. We got a 2-hour delay ourselves, so I'm about to sneak in the gym.
Oh, okay. So you got some time then. Good for you.
I do. I'm going to drop the kid off at daycare,
and then I'm going straight to the gym, come back, shower,
school for 3.5 hours or whatever it is, and then I'm back.
You should take your extra LeBron doll with you and have him sit there as a gym companion.
I could, yeah.
You could talk to him.
Yeah, they're going to call the people on me. They're going to say, "Get this guy here."
The guy with the dog.
Yeah, it's always somebody weird in the gym. I don't want to be that guy this morning.
You're not a guy who like slams the weights down, are you?
Oh no.
Yeah.
I go to one of those gyms where like I'm not bragging, but the guys like we're in shape. I'll say that. And I go, it's a lot of guys in there. Just man, I think I'm in shape. It's some guys in there. I'm like, yeah, this guy's on steroids.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, but they're huge. They take their shirts off. It's like, I'm like, oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah. You can tell the guys that are getting enhanced.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. It's all in the neckline.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, my friend. We'll have a good time in the gym, and we'll run you down again next week. And
all right,
looking forward to catching up with you, brother.
Rick, love you, brother. See you.
All right, man. Take care. There you go. Kion Brown. Love you too, by the way. He's right. Yeah, you can always tell the steroid guys. Steroid guys are, they think that they're fooling people, but they're not. Hey, welcome. We got a lot going on here on the program. What a way to start. Hall of Famer Ron Shelburne, Kion Brown. We're going to segue right into Damien Sordelett, and oh my goodness, it's a Christmas miracle. Virginia Tech football is going to allow the media, the local media, to have a conversation or two. Oh, my goodness. Who knew? Want to thank Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios here in Reiner, 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrb.com. Give them a ring today, please. Go see Jason Green and company. Mark Hundley, right off of Walters Drive, 155 Walters Drive, Pepper Ferry Road, sponsor of our chat room. McClellan Chiropractic, awesome as always. Professional Door Incorporated, Travis Williams. Commercial residential garage doors for 38 years. Sponsor of our text line at 540-391-0788. Awesome stuff. Want to thank Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of this program. Warm weather in springtime is going to mean a lot to everyone, but no more so to the folks up there at Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. With the things that are already on the docket. Charles Lee, Little River Heating and Air, 540-553-2971. Give him a call today. Let them come take care of all of your needs. The Seahawks have pulled ahead, and our attorney Ryan Pry question of the week, 701 West Main Street in Radford. Seahawks have gotten 31 votes for the Super Bowl winner. The Patriots have gotten 23 votes right now. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of BDST, and my exclusive banking partner for the last 35 years. The Ready Set Fund, ReadySetFund.com with Bob Christ 11, CRIST 11 at Gmail, and ReadySetFund.com if you have an organization, sports team, whatever it might be, church, doesn't matter, to raise some money. The NRB Super Bowl at 382-5525. They're going to have Super Bowl bowling, which is great. They're the NRB Super Bowl. In other words, they're going to have the game up on big TVs on top of all of the lanes. So you can go in there with a group of 8. You won't spend a lot of money per, and you can have pizza, beverages, and just sit there on Super Bowl Sunday at the Super Bowl. Give them a call. And thanks to James Lawson, 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Give him a call, 381-8011, Lawson's Mobile Home Supply since 1997. And to Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel for sponsoring our T-shirts and creating our T-shirts. Great stuff. All right. Always great stuff when that gentleman joins us on the program. Damien Sordelett, and first of all, congratulations. And are you just pinching yourself that you actually finally get to go talk to Tech football people? Yay!
Wish I had a little bit more time than 1 hour to talk to 4 people, but yeah.
That's all they gave you? An hour?
Yeah.
This is weird. It's just weird. At this point, it's gotten weird. So they have this planned press conference at 11, right? It's all been kind of choreographed. I don't know. Have you gotten any information as to what it's going to be like? What are they going to be doing? Are they finally going to show you the staff, or what's going on?
I know the time frame that we're going to get to talk to the Franklin, Pry, Howell, and Shearer, and then they haven't said anything else.
Well, on behalf of all of you guys who I know are terrific at your job, it really bugs me to see that he went out of his way, Franklin, to talk to an ESPN guy where he could control the whole dialect of it and talk to somebody else nationally. He's done this the whole time since he's been here, totally ignoring the people that our watchers and our viewers follow, the people that are dedicated to covering Virginia Tech football. That bugs me. That bothered me yesterday. I'm like, why is he doing that? Why not give that to you? You're the football beat writer for the premier paper in the area. Why not give that to Teal, right? Somebody, Andy Bitter, anybody.
Right, but he hasn't gotten a chance to know us yet. Like,
he hasn't allowed himself to.
Right, and I went through this when I was covering Liberty with Hugh Freeze. He trusted more in like Chris Lowe with ESPN and some of those other guys to get the messaging out. Now, I will give Freeze some credit. He gave us more time in some of these press conferences and gave us more opportunities early. But like the big stories, he went out to ESPN because he knew them. He has those relationships. Franklin's essentially doing the same thing, but he hasn't gotten a chance to know us yet. So I'm hoping the dynamic there changes here coming up soon, but we'll see.
We'll see. So how's it going to work? Are you guys going to have to like just take turns? You got to plan ahead with the other guys and say, can I have him for 7-8 minutes and then we'll rotate around since everybody's just got an hour?
No, it's he's going to be at a podium for a set time.
Okay.
Then Pry for a set time, Howell for a set time, and Shear for a set time. So it's a formal press conference. It's not like a...
Oh, so it's just a formal... You don't even get the chance to have the individual sessions. Like,
nope.
Wow. So you have to just sit there and ask all your questions with everybody else. Okay, I misunderstood. So I thought you were going to at least have like an opportunity to have these guys after the presser.
No.
No.
What you watch on their YouTube page is what we get.
Wow. Well, that'll be interesting. Interesting to see what comes out of that. Maybe somebody can ask that question. Hey, hi, how are you? Maybe that's what everybody should do. They should do. You know how he is about introducing themselves? Make sure you take the time to introduce yourself, go up and shake his hand. Maybe that would help, right? Didn't he do that when he got here? Hey, how you doing? By the way, my name is James Franklin. Didn't he do all that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully he doesn't take a full minute of the time that we have with him to say, I said hi.
What is on your mind to ask? Is it going to depend on the flow of what these guys are talking about, or are you already thinking about some things that, we'd like to know this? I'd like to be able to write about this.
Yeah, I want some more info about bringing Pry back as defensive coordinator. That's a big topic that I don't know, we haven't really written about other than getting the initial contract and the initial news, but like I want to know what went into it. More so than what they put in that Set in Stone series that they're doing.
Oh God.
Like if you look at their online roster right now, Franklin's the only coach listed. They haven't added any of the transfers to that class. The signing class, the high schoolers is still separate from the 2026 roster. So it's not like they've gone through and added the mid-year enrollees. So we don't know a number of how many are there. So we're going to have to fit all that in with Franklin in 20-minute time. And he gave us 20 minutes on signing day, and we only got 6 questions in. So that's the world we're living in. So hopefully we can get more questions in now, and there's going to be more of us. So it's not like Andy and I and Teal can go in and ask a couple questions here, a couple questions there, and then it's like one, get to someone else, rotate, and hopefully the mic comes back to you. So, yeah, at least with Pry, we know in our 15 minutes with him, we'll be able to ask a good number of questions. And hopefully Pry will be able to shed some light on being back in the building, all that other stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, I hope so. That'd be nice to know. That'd be a great, yeah. So take us through your own mindset here, right? To get fired like that, to be rejected like that by a fan base even, and yet come back the same year to work for your mentor? That would be an interesting angle to find out what his mindset was. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and ideally, I would like to have sat down with him and asked him that in a non-formal setting, just to sit down. It's a couple of us, and where the cameras aren't rolling, just he gets a chance to just kind of talk freely with us, versus a press conference where he knows he's got a set time and he can't really go off on a tangent. Yeah, Wayne, I'm not asking him about Enter the Sandman. Yeah, I'm not asking him about rap and the East Coast, West Coast stuff. I mean, ESPN can do that, filling a broadcast, but no,
you're not interested in that information. So I didn't realize it's just the 4 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Not even okay.
We should be getting the other assistants at some point before spring. I'm not holding my breath.
No, he controls it all. Yeah, he controls it all. Yeah. I never understood coaches. And these are grown men. These are professional men, right? That you're bringing in to be part of your staff. These are grown-ups. These are dudes. They're making a lot of money. And yet you have to dictate to them when you can go out and talk to people.
Yeah, and I think Franklin is I noticed a lot of Virginia Tech social media folks shared a story that was posted on the socials. I think it was late last week, about the impact of how social media in terms of getting the messaging out for colleges. And I think that was kind of coordinated because Franklin has really dived into controlling the narrative through the socials, and he doesn't get to do that with us because we're going to ask actual questions.
Great point.
And
that's a great point.
And he doesn't get to frame what they do in terms of, oh, here's the final say for the product we're putting out, like the Set in Stone series. He probably gets final say in what that looks like.
No, of course he does. Of course he does.
So, he doesn't get final say in what we write or the questions we ask. So he is controlling the narrative that way. And then he can say, oh, just limit that. I'm not going to ask about LED lights. That's a question for Whit. I wish we had enough time with Franklin to ask about all that stuff, like the heating at the indoor facility, the LED lights, all that stuff. But there's too much to talk about. We haven't talked to him since signing day. And a lot has changed since signing day.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Well, so yeah, and what you're saying, so he wants to control every aspect of it. So is it almost like, since he knows he can't control it, he wants to limit it as much as possible?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it comes across as.
Yeah.
They may say something I don't want. They may take something and write something on their own. We can't have that. We can't have individual thought here. No, don't want that.
Ooh, good. There's a good point here because we did have a breakout with him after the introductory press conference. It was myself, Andy, Teal, and the 2 Penn State writers who came down from State College. We got a chance to sit down with him, and it was just one of these lengthy answers where he talked about, this isn't one of those things where you need to take this and then connect the dots on this. And I'm like, that's exactly what we're going to do. That's our job. Connect the dots.
That's exactly right. Right.
And he kind of looked at the 3 new faces when he was saying that versus the 2 familiar faces. When he was saying that, because I remember when I'm transcribing it, I'm remembering exactly how he was saying it. I'm like, oh, he doesn't want us to go investigating.
Yes. Yeah. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Prometheus, I wasn't here when Pry was hired, so I don't know what the difference is, but I heard, he took time to get. Yeah, he took time to get to know
night and day
the writers. Yeah.
He came on the old radio show 6 or 7 times. He never gave any hesitation. Nothing was limited. He always had breakout sessions with the media. David Teal had some great conversations. He showed up on Tech Sideline a couple times. It was night and day. Night and day from Pry to what we're seeing now. Not even close. Not even close.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. It's very interesting. Well, I hope you get something out of it. I hope you get something out of it. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll probably be Pry Angle. That might be the most interesting story to come out.
I think so. I think it's a great story if it works out for him and they have a big year and he comes back. I mean, he's a great dude. I mean, Brent Pry's a good dude. You know, and what happened to him? He wasn't ready to be a head coach, or he wasn't a good head coach. Right? He didn't know how to do it. He just wasn't good at it.
Or he needed some head coach seasoning at a lower level.
Yes, yeah, right. Instead of being thrown into, oh my goodness, let's go back to the place where I GA'd and have all these expectations, and I'm not ready for it. Yeah, no doubt. He could still be a head coach someday. Who knows?
Oh yeah, but he'll probably follow Franklin wherever Franklin goes next.
Oh, I think there's no doubt. There's no doubt at this point. They're joined at the hip for good now.
Oh yeah, and I've had conversations with some people who think if a big job comes calling, like an SEC or Big Ten job that's appealing to Franklin, say after 3 years, he's probably going.
No, there's no question. I mean, he tried to get a job before Tech. That's why Tech had to wait for so long.
Yeah,
he was trying to get on anywhere. You notice that's how he mentioned it in the ESPN article.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that? He kind of hinted at that. He was telling all these recruits that he'd already been in contact with. He had to say, well, we don't know how. Let's see where this thing ends up, because he was waiting to hear from like Arkansas and I don't know the other place, Florida State, whatever it was. So he kind of hints at that in the ESPN article. I saw that.
Well, the openings were Florida, Auburn, Arkansas, UCLA.
Yeah.
I don't know if he dealt with the Philadelphia media a lot, because that would require them to cross the state.
Yeah, that's true.
Penn State, yeah.
That's true. Happy Valley, yeah. Well, you would think in a place like Happy Valley, you would want to, and I know that you didn't have a good relationship up there, but it's all about Penn State football. You would think you could forge, and we're all about Virginia Tech football. So you'd think you would want to forge a bond.
And from all accounts, he did. And then when COVID happened and you could do everything on like this, and he could control the narrative. And I agree with the comments.
Yeah.
I agree with the comments about Pry. You know, if he had the resources, if he didn't have to rebuild the entire roster, if he actually hired experienced coordinators, he probably would have been better off.
Yeah. He would.
But again, first time coach, he had to learn somehow. And unfortunately, it was to the detriment of Tech for a short period of time.
Yeah. And again, was that something and that goes back to Witt, right? Shouldn't Witt have recognized that? Hey, we're going to give you this chance, but when you're going out and doing this is what we'd like. Can you have one guy, one old head, to come in here and but he got free reign to do what he wanted, and it was all inexperience all over the place. So fish rots from the head, so that kind of falls on Witt too, because he still had control of football at the time.
With the exception of Joe Rudolph.
He had one guy. Yeah. Joe Rudolph, it was very exciting. Yeah. I thought that was going to be a slam dunk.
Joe Rudolph,
that did not go well
J.C. Price. That was about the experience that you had coaching.
Yeah. And the Rudolph thing failed so miserably. It was bizarre.
Well, I mean, Notre Dame came calling.
Yeah. But it started to go sideways middle of that season too, the relationship with Pry. So
with Prometheus's comments, I agree. Like, he chose not to sign with a program until he did at Virginia Tech, because then you can recruit as many guys as you want without being accused of tampering. You're a private citizen.
Who's that?
Franklin. Like, he chose.
Franklin was trying to get jobs and he got turned down.
And there's also
That's what happened with Franklin.
Yeah.
I know that. So that's not speculation. He kept Tech waiting for 3 weeks because he was trying to get involved with other jobs. And then he went back to Tech because he had an offer. Right?
Yeah. I've heard your story. I've heard the story of Tech came to him with an actual good offer and had breakdowns of everything. And he weighed the options and he preferred to wait till he did, so that way he could get 2 weekends of recruiting underway and get a significant leg up on everyone else that was still open. So I've heard different things. So until someone comes out and says, "Yeah, this is exactly what happened,"
that's not going to happen, though. You know that as
oh,
well
it
as I
will
do.
never happen.
It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Or if he takes a new job somewhere, and sometime he might go back to say, "Well, here's how it played out at Virginia Tech during that coaching search." Could do that.
So the new offensive coordinator will be there too.
Yep.
Okay.
And the new special teams coordinator.
Okay. So hopefully there won't be like little index cards of questions. Here you go, guys. Can you hold it?
That's one of those where if I get that, I'm crumpling it up and
yeah. Well, I can't imagine anybody in that room.
No! If they give us index cards, I guarantee you, each one of us is taking a photo of it and saying, "Just so you know, these questions will not be asked during the press conference."
We must control the information.
Oh gosh, that reminds me of a time when I was covering Liberty, and one of the Liberty players mentioned about Sam Hartman. If he gets hit, he's not a good quarterback. The year 2022 when they played Wake Forest, and Liberty lost by 1, and they hit Hartman and made him look mortal. And the next week, the director of player personnel is putting sheets of paper on the like where the players are sitting for questions, saying, "Do not address these topics."
Really?
Yep. And I looked at Matt Blevins and I go, "When you were a player, did you get that?" He goes, "No." And I'm like, "Do not do that." And they didn't bring it out the next week.
And to think about it, if you're just humble and transparent about things when they happen, it'll go away quickly. People will respect it. You can address it, and you can move on, and nobody will hold it against you. It's just when you go to these extra ways like that, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
They didn't want the soundbite because they feel like the soundbite that they gave about Hartman being mortal when you hit him, it's like that's the thing for every quarterback. It doesn't matter if it's one or the other.
Well, that's right. That's right.
And they hit Hartman that day, and he was missing throws that he normally wasn't.
Yeah. How much of that you think that you're right? You said it earlier. It's so controlled by social media. That has just changed. COVID destroyed the culture of this country and this world, a lot of worry of this world with what everybody got used to doing. Nobody wanted to be sociable anymore. Like you said, this kind of thing became popular.
Yep.
You're right. That's a great point. And if without the influence of social media, would anyone be going to these measures to this degree like Franklin and Tech are doing now, right? And social media is the big part of it, 100%.
They're controlling the narrative. People are clicking on it and watching it. So that's the whole thing. And now I'm glad we're going to get a chance to talk to him because I hate having to go back and rewatching like the ESPN broadcast from the Tech UVA game and having to get the soundbite of him saying, "Oh, this is the position that we need." And then he goes and hires someone to fill a position that was already filled and then move a guy to a different role than what's on his contract. So, and that's another thing to ask. Like, you need a co-DC safeties coach, and you went and hired another cornerbacks coach and moved the first cornerbacks coach to safety, and you don't have a co-DC.
Great point. Yeah. That should be it. That's worth a conversation. 100%. Yeah. I just don't like, there's almost like, it feels like there's an assumption that all you guys, that all the people that are dedicated to this program and covering this area, all of a sudden are going to be, nobody wants to be against him or the program. You need Tech football to do well. Everybody's sick of Tech football not being good, right? We've been through this for the last 6-7 years.
Yeah.
It's like there's this immediate assumption that you can't either handle the job or you're not going to do it, the right way. And that's what really bugs me about it.
Yeah.
It's just not right. It's not right. And you're going to trust these morons on ESPN, people that that are just going to write fluff pieces, that are just going to do whatever just because they want content, because they're paid to have content.
Yeah. But at the same time, they know James. Like any article with James Franklin in the headline, people are going to click on it because they're going to want to keep up with. Oh,
right, because of the Penn State separation, and then 100%.
Until the week of the VMI game, and then no one's going to touch him.
No, you're right. You're right.
The next time they will talk to him is probably going to Maryland because he coached there, coaching against Sarduzzi.
Yep.
Clemson, and then Miami.
Right. And then if Tech ends up, whatever many wins they end up with, what they end up doing in the, the bowl or whatever, if they're in the ACC title game. Right. Yeah. Once the season gets going, it'll be a forgotten thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Then if Tech's doing well, then that will keep his name up there and people will be interested. But
that plays into my point. You're going to be interested the whole year.
Right. Yeah.
And bringing it to the fans who are going to be interested the whole year, the investors of the damn program that are buying tickets, buying merch, that want to support this and get on board. You're there, win, loss, every little move, but yet they won't be anymore. And that plays right into what I'm saying. So.
Right. And the Athletic no longer has a dedicated reporter for Virginia Tech like they had for Penn State.
Right.
So in terms of media outlets and like, with the way newspapers are, I'm the only one reporting for the entire Lee Enterprises Virginia outlet. So if you want something in the Richmond Times-Dispatch or Fredericksburg Freelance Star or anything like that, it goes through me. So that's kind of when you want to sit down and talk to him because then he gets an idea of who we are and like our publication reach. It's like, hey, I'm reporting for like 12 different newspapers in the state of Virginia that will run my content. David Teal's got 2 big newspapers out the beach.
Right.
Andy's got a massive following. People will read his stuff.
Right. You 3 guys are the 3 guys.
Get to know us. Yeah.
I mean, you are. You're the 3-headed monster of Tech football coverage. You're the 3 that every Tech fan wants to follow. I mean, that's just the way it is.
And it's sad that number's so low.
It is. It is. And there are other people that do it. I'm not talking about podcasts and everything, but I'm talking about beat writers and writers. I want to read. Yes, 100%.
Right. I wish there was more than that. You need more.
I agree. I agree with you. And it used to be. It
Oh, yeah.
used to be a plethora.
It used to be the Washington Post had a reporter covering Virginia Tech on a weekly basis.
Yeah, at every Tech presser, right? Uh-huh. And I just remember the breakout sessions. I used to go to the weekly when I was a sports director at the radio station when I was doing the show full time. Go over there every week, and you'd have the presser like they're having today.
Yeah.
And then Beams would sit down and have a breakout session. He would just sit there and take everybody's question. Bud Foster, Brian Steinspring. Didn't matter who it was, right? Players would come out. You get like 4 or 5 players.
Exactly.
And they'd come out in their jerseys, and they would sit there and talk to you. It's amazing how it's as much as we've evolved technology and streaming and this and Zoom. It's amazing how much we've set back.
Oh yeah,
interpersonal communication. The irony's dripping.
COVID ruined that.
Yeah, it did. It did.
COVID ruined that because when you could do this, and
it did. It did. It destroyed society.
Yeah,
it did. It did. Well, I hope you get something. I hope you get something.
We will pull a tooth or something. You'll probably be pulling teeth at some point, but we're going to get something.
You will. You will. Yeah, you will. He's been in Blacksburg a lot longer than a week. Chris.
With all the recruiting they were doing.
Actually in Blacksburg, yeah.
Which is now a recruiting dead period now.
Yeah, it's finally done now, right? It's finally now.
They went out. They had their big junior day last weekend. They were able to go out recruit. I mean, I saw Sean Quinn cross paths with them up in Fairfax with the Overton brothers. So.
Well, maybe they'll talk about the players being here, the portal players, and maybe they'll discuss that a little bit. What kind of work they can get in? That'd be kind of an interesting angle too. to find out how those guys are getting acclimated to Blacksburg. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and I'd like to ask about the Cameron Morgan situation, but I don't know if we'll have enough time about that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because everyone forgets he was coming here, and then admissions was like, yep, not going to work.
Yeah, that was strange. Where did he end up? Where did he go?
I don't know. I saw Micah Matthews landed at James Madison yesterday.
I don't know where Morgan. Anybody know where Morgan ended up in chat? They'll know. Chat will know.
Yeah.
Chat will know.
Chat will definitely know.
You got any more basketball you're covering anytime soon? Where are you going to be? What are you doing?
I might be at the Deadman on Saturday.
Well, we're on the road Saturday. We're at High Point Saturday.
Well, the women are hosting
You're going to be there for High Point?
Win High Point, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you can be at the women's game. Oh, that's cool. Well, thank you. That's great. You're going to give the women some coverage. That's cool.
Yeah, they are. They're playing really well.
They are. They are.
But the High Point women are, 20-2, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, they're pretty good. I don't know what their competition level's been, but yeah, they're really good in our league. Yeah, they are. Both High Points are good. So, yeah. So, okay, well, good for you. That'll be good. That'll be good.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything in terms of where Cameron Morgan ended up, so.
Yeah, I figured Chat would know, but they don't know.
He's probably not going back to Baylor.
Unless
he has to.
I wouldn't think so. I would say whatever. I thought I saw him go somewhere, but I don't know. Who knows?
No, but I was a little bit more excited for Javion Hilson as an edge rusher of that group. So as long as you have Hilson, you can develop someone opposite of him. Yeah.
I hope you get I hope when you talk to the OC, I hope you can talk about the brand of offense. I hope they open things up to talk about what it could look like. Bruckmeyer, how, and all that. I hope it can become something that's actually informative to the investors who are the fans.
Oh, yeah. That's Chris, I don't know if Rutgers has any money with how much they're in debt.
Yeah, did you see the Florida State reveal yesterday too?
$741 million deficit last year?
Yeah. $741 million deficit, and what, $500 million of it went to athletics?
Oh, yeah, because I think a lot of that had to do with the construction of the renovation of Doak Campbell. But those billable hours will catch up with you very quickly.
Yeah. It's
they spent a lot of money on lawyers to fight a lawsuit that they eventually settled. They get everything they want, and then they suck.
Well, I'm telling you, it is when you see programs like that, and now you notice that these programs are not shy about showing their numbers all of a sudden. It started with Rutgers and now Florida State. I'm sure there'll be more to follow. Hey, we've been telling you this is not sustainable, everybody. Here's what it looks like.
Virginia Tech was in the black for a third straight year.
Yeah, interesting.
Not by a wide margin, but they've been in the black.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, they're doing more with less. Now it's going to be interesting to see if putting more money in, are they going to be able to stay in the black, or are they going to start operating at a deficit a bit?
No, it'll be a deficit. I'm sure it'll be a deficit.
Which is probably why I remember the question last week. Season ticket holders were asking, we were charged for 7 games and we're only getting 6. There's a reason why you're not getting your money back. They need it.
Well, Franklin ran Penn State into a deficit annually, so he'll do the same thing in Blacksburg. I mean, that's a given.
Yeah.
That's an absolute given. So apparently Morgan did not go anywhere else. Peeps are saying they can't find him anywhere. So,
yeah, well, if admissions at Virginia Tech are having an issue, that's probably a red flag for some other programs. They're like,
yeah,
can't really take a chance on them.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So what time are you guys all convening over there? I know it starts at 11. You get to get in a little early. They're going to
we get to
check your ID and frisk you at the door. What do we got going on?
Yeah, you can show up at 10. But
good.
They said your media access can get revoked if you cut through Merriman at all. So
or for good?
For good.
Wait a minute. So
They don't want you walking through Merriman, so you have to go in through Castle to go to the media room. Then you have to come back outside to go through the main door to get to the team room. There's no cutting through the hallway where the coaches' offices are to cut through the back way to Castle. Can't do that.
Or they'll pull your access for the
Yeah.
year.
Well, it says media access. Let me give you the actual wording because this is included on the baseball's also holding a media day today. They included this as well. Let's see if I can find this real quick. Access through the Merriman Center is strictly prohibited and will result in media access revocation. Now, if they're doing work in there, I get it. Just say you can't go through there because it's like a construction zone. Just say that. Don't say, hey,
but that's not what they mean. They said what they meant. You're right. You could just say it that way and not make everybody feel threatened and like you're a 10-year-old walking out of the fire. Hey, we got a fire drill line. Don't step out of line, or you're gonna. That's what they've kind of made it come across as. Yeah.
I don't want to risk it because I don't want to see what happens, but I have a feeling they're going to, like, some poor student reporter is not going to read through that entire email and then say, oh, I'm going to Castle Media Workroom. I'm just going to cut through here. And then all of a sudden he's getting read the Riot Act and, this call, like, the Collegiate Times or someone's going to have to find someone else to cover it because they're like, nope, you don't have a credential anymore.
Wow. It's bizarre. I just think it's a strange way to introduce yourself to a fan base that's so avid, a coverage area that's so avid for this program.
Yeah.
And to want it to be good again and to be good in the right way again, to go about this approach is, if this doesn't provide red flags for people, then nothing will. I mean, if you win, I guess it doesn't matter.
Right.
But even if you've drank all the Kool-Aid regarding Franklin and you're all excited as you should be because you got the coaches you wanted, you have to step back and realize that this is odd.
Yeah.
The way this is being handled is very odd.
Yeah. Wayne's right. If they do something to the 3304 kids and Bill Roth's going to be like, excuse me?
Yeah, certainly they won't mess with Roth, right? Come on.
No, but his kids, like his students. And if they try to go after one of, like, myself or Andy or Teal, then there's going to be an issue.
Oh, they go after Teal. Oh, my gosh. He's not happy with any of this either, by the way.
No, and I have a feeling Pry will probably vouch for us, but
you would think you guys were really good to him. I mean, everybody was. Nobody went after Pry when the struggles. Everybody wanted him to do. Everybody wanted Brent Pry. Hell, I wanted Brent Pry to be a success. He's great. Like I said, didn't work. It just didn't work.
Yeah, and we weren't writing that he should be fired. I was writing that there's a possibility if the thing's going to get turned around.
Sure. Just being honest. You were being honest. You were covering the sport, covering the team.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wish this was like like the local media was treated like how Don Staley treats the local media with the South Carolina women's basketball team. Because after, like, I don't know if you've heard about this, but after NCAA tournament games where you get there's no cameras allowed in the press conference room, she'll come out and do one-on-ones with the local media.
Correct. And she'll, at the press conference, remember when she got interrupted at a tournament by a national writer? And she said, no, this is my local guy.
Yeah.
I work with them all the time. I'll get to you in a second. Let him finish. He had, yes. See? Yeah. I don't know. And I know I grew up in a spoiled era around Frank Beamer. And, all I know is this guy's a Hall of Fame coach. And he's the guy that built the entire thing.
Yeah.
And to see it turn into this, and I know it's probably more of a national thing, not just limited to Franklin, but it's it's not the easiest thing to see transfer over to this way.
Right.
And now you don't trust anything that ever comes out of there that they issue on their own. Is just propaganda, because you've said it all along. All they're doing is controlling the whole thing.
Yeah, I'll go back to when I covered Liberty, when Turner Gill was there, and before they started buttoning up things around there. I would show up and go talk to a coordinator, like in their office, like just pop in, say hi to people, and then I talk to the coordinator. And we wouldn't talk football; we talk about family, and you get to know them.
Correct.
And Gill had no problem with that, because I'm not there fishing for stories; I'm there getting to know them. And I understand things changed once they moved to FBS. They kind of buttoned things up a bit, but that relationship's helped me. Now,
I'd have interviews scheduled with Coach Beamer, because he came on my old radio show every week. And when he couldn't, he wanted to record it, right?
Right.
So I'd go over, and I don't remember who his administrative assistant was, a longtime lady over there. And she would come in, and she would have like a plate of brownies. Hey, Rick, Frank just stepped out. Just go sit in his office. He knows you're on. He knows you're here. He knows you're coming. And I'd just be sitting in Coach Beamer's office with the door open. He'd come in. Hey, Rick, I'm sorry, and shake your hand. You'd sit there for 20 minutes, knock out the interview. He'd ask you about personal life, and you talk about his family.
Yeah.
And I know that's a bygone era, but I'm just thinking this is the best guy to do it. We're never going to have anybody have any kind of influence on this community, this environment around football or sports than Frank Beamer.
Yeah.
He is at the top of the totem pole forever, and that's the way he handled.
But he was also there when there wasn't like this big national media circus.
Yeah.
Everything was local back then. ESPN hadn't taken off yet.
No.
So he understood the importance of relationships with local media.
Yeah, that Franklin better hope that he wins the way Tech fan needs him to win.
Yeah.
Wins will forgive a lot of this, if not all of it. I don't know what level it has to be for Tech fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, winning does cure all. In most cases, that is absolutely true. 100%. 100%. Now, I don't know whether it'll cure your relationship as a local media with him. I don't know, but I don't know. We'll see. Well, I hope your day is very interesting today, my friend, in a good way. I hope so. And it's cool you're going to be at Dedmon on Saturday. I hope you get to pull up at Dedmon on Saturday. That's awesome.
Yeah. Still trying to finalize what I'm doing, but right now that seems to be the top game because it's number 1 versus number 2 in the Big South women's standings.
Tech on the road. Tech men on the road. I don't know where the women are. I don't know where the Tech women are.
Women are at home Saturday or Sunday.
Oh, okay, on Sunday. That's right. So you could go there too. Yeah, got 2 days. So.
And the men are at Raleigh on Saturday with that noon tip.
Who you got winning the Super Bowl? What do you think?
Patriots.
You got the Patriots winning? Wow. Okay. Well, I think Seattle will win, but we'll see. We'll see.
I'm wondering if some boneheaded goal line call happens again. That
the ghost of Pete Carroll.
The ghost of just give it to Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, just hand it to the guy, and you're going to win the game. That's all you needed to do. That's all you needed to do.
And also, I don't know about you, but I kind of have a little bit more faith in Drake May as a second-year player than Sam Darnold.
Well,
in this situation.
You say that, and then I watched Darnold, and he's just riddling everybody recently. He killed the Rams. He was unbelievable against the Rams.
Yeah. So I'll say this: Demario Douglas, wide receiver for the Patriots, slot receiver, kind of third down guy. I covered him all 4 years he was at Liberty. Great kid, first male in his family to graduate from college. I like to see him win a Super Bowl. The kid's been through a ton, being raised in a single parent household with.
Yeah, you get to know the kids, right?
Yeah.
Personal relationship, 100%. And I'm wondering if you're going to be, apparently you won't have that opportunity as well with any of the players. Like, I don't know if you get to know any of the players. And I probably really kind of cut back on that too, though.
Yeah.
what was the player access that you guys had the last couple of years for Tech? I don't even know.
It would be get a couple on Tuesday, 1 or 2 on Wednesday, and then whoever they gave us after games.
We had drones on a couple of times. They didn't ever fight about that, Tootin came on. I mean, so yeah.
I don't get me started on drones because they would only bring him in after losses, and like Andy and I would be like, "Can't you give us a quarterback after a win? Like, can we do that once?"
Yeah, how about after a win when he's actually played well? Maybe. Yeah.
Bring us drones after he plays well, after a win. Don't bring us in after the Miami game where the Hail Mary was overturned, or don't bring him in after the South Carolina game when he has his first multi-interception game of his career or anything like that. Just bring him in after a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think TLB said it right. Yeah, we're not just bitching about this because, we don't have access, poor us. This isn't what this is about. You don't need warm and fuzzy, but you don't need to be a complete, that hyphenated word either.
Donkey's rear end.
Yeah. That's the point. There's a fine line. And come out and say it. Address it today. This is why we haven't done this. This is the way I'm going to do it. And, we'll let you know when you can talk to us. Okay, we don't like it, but that's okay. At least you're upfront about it instead of, giving it to national people, which he did with, tips about his staff, about recruits, and what he did with the article that came out yesterday on ESPN. That's all. I mean, I've never believed he was ever going to come on this program. I never even worried about it. I can't imagine poor Travis Wells. He's got to be dealing with a lot of stuff over there. I hope he's doing all right.
Yeah.
Well,
let's just say I kind of have a feeling I know how he's dealing with this stuff because there's a text thread with I'm in with him and a couple others, and the reaction to us saying, "Can we get something here different?" And he comes back with that sweaty face emoji, like, yeah. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I had a brief conversation with him about all this, so I kind of know too. It's true. And Wayne says, but yet he'll say on the other side, he wants the stadium full. He wants to reach out to the fans and make sure they know that they need to fill it up. But yet I think a lot of fans can think for themselves and not just get caught up in the hype train. They need to see things for the way they are. You can still support it 100%, but it is what it is a great phrase that always seems to fit in situations like this, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Right. All right, brother. Well, hang in there, man. And looking forward to it. Can't wait to see what you got out of this. And I hope you get to make it down to Dedmon on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Right now that's the case. Weather looks good. So finally above freezing.
Woohoo! We made it. We're above freezing.
Hopefully there's a better outcome for the men tonight against Winthrop.
Yeah, I mean, it was just an unbelievable shot that Cody Cluett hit down there to win the game. 3-ball, and so Radford played them tough down there, and tonight's game's pretty even. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, man. Have a great day. I hope it works out for you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Rick.
All right, brother. Take care. Damien Sordelett. Good stuff from Damien. And I just know these guys personally. They're good at what they do. There's certain writers that have an agenda that want to go after people. None of those guys are like that. All those guys are salt of the earth, and they just want to report on the program and the team. None of them. I won't. Maybe so. I keep hearing that if he wins, nobody's going to care. Somebody's going to continue to care. I mean, just shrugging your shoulders and just saying, "Hey, behave the way you want as long as we get wins." I mean, okay, there's something to that. But I think TLB said it best. You don't want to be a complete toolbox to everybody. Somebody typed earlier, I think it was Rodney, said maybe we're starting to get a view into what happened at Penn State. Maybe so. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. This is why you play the games. This is why you progress in the time frame. This is why you go into your first spring practice and you organize your first roster together to see if the guys you chose to be part of your program fit. You know, how do they fit the pieces together? That's what this time of year is about. That's what Todd Grantham talked about on Monday, right, with all the way across the country. And we'll see the way that it plays out, and we'll see how it goes today. Maybe it'll go better than we think. Maybe it'll go better than we think. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe they will open up. Maybe they'll end up getting to know these guys and they'll realize that they're good dudes and they're good at what they do. And maybe they'll want to give them more opportunities. That would be great. Because you think about it, their access is your access. Now, you might say, I don't need any access, but I find that hard to believe. You don't pay for Tech Sideline because you don't get access. You know what I'm saying? You don't pay for all this other stuff because you don't hear about anything until you show up on game day. Maybe that's enough for you as a fan. I don't know. Maybe it is. That's a question that you have to answer. I mean, you might be okay with it. You just stay in the dark and you don't care. Here you go. James Franklin. Here you go. Take it. Go Hokies. You don't hear anything, and then you just show up on game day, and then maybe that's enough for you. And if it is, that's your choice, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think fans today, especially with all the social media, with all the coverage, with everything else, especially when you have the salaries that are out there, with what players are making and the age of the NIL, and how your money is not nearly as much money as they're making coming to play for the program that you're supporting. Is it enough for you to sit there and just say, hey, I don't need to know anything. This is fine. If we win, I don't care. If it is, that's great. But there's a certain class that I think comes with it. Well, it's not Prometheus. That's not 100% true. They won at Michigan, and they had to fire Harbaugh because of the cheating scandal. They won a national championship, and they still never recovered from that. Right? Winning couldn't hide that. Now, I don't think Franklin's going to do anything like that. He's not going to be cheating, or he's not going to be. But people tried to cover up for all the things that they did. There are a lot of people who thought their championship should have been taken away. I don't know where you fall on that. I mean, I would think that that falls along the lines of some of the things that the Patriots did. I want more access to BDST. We're gonna create an off. We're gonna have like a big dog pop. That's what it's gonna be called. We can talk about all these things. And T-Bill, I saw your comment about VMI. I agree 100%. That's a very troubling story people need to look into. Elections have ramifications, don't they? Wow. Whew. We want to thank the Ready Set Fund. Bob Christ 11 at Gmail. Let them help you raise money for your sports team. Marty and Rags, by the way, next Wednesday. Coach Ragsdale had hernia surgery yesterday. They were going to be on tomorrow, but that's not going to work. Professional Door Incorporated, Travis Williams, residential commercial garage doors, family and operated for 38 years. Sponsor of our text line. Thank you so much, Trav. And thanks for all the messages that we get throughout the day. It's awesome. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of BDST. My exclusive banking partner for 35 years. Lara Ramsey's the best. I'll see you tonight at the Radford game. The attorney Ryan Pry, he's got our BDST fan question of the week, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. Everybody thinks right now, not everybody, but the majority feel like the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl. That's our question of the week. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. Give Charles Lee a call. I know one of our viewers was going to do that. I hope they got good pricing and good experience there. Pulaski County Sports Entertainment is the presenting sponsor of this program. Thanks so much to Jonathan Sweet and Tim Miller. IHRA has been in town, and they're accessing the track, and it's going to be a great, great time. Go to the NRV Super Bowl on Sunday. If you want to spend Super Bowl Sunday at the Super Bowl, They've got a great package, $100 for your lane, your shoes, your food, your beverages. You can sit there for 4 hours. You can bowl during the game. 382-5525. Give Terry or Amanda a call. James Lawson's Mobile Home Supply since 1997, 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Give them a call at 540-381-8011. Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic. Appreciate everything Mark does. 155 Walters Drive. Christiansburg, right off of Peppers Ferry Road. And Family Fencing, sponsor of our studio here in Reiner. 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrb.com. They are the best at what they do. Let them come out and access your yard. And I know we have snow and stuff on the ground. Doesn't matter. They'll still come out, talk to you, give you a quote, and I'd like to hear about the things that you'd like to do about your home. So call Family Fencing. They're doing great. They're awesome. They're awesome. 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 No, actually, Saban was really good with the media. I keep seeing that on here too. Now, he had his moments, but he was pretty good with the media. That's why he's in media now. He's always respected the craft of it. Yeah, and he always gave access to the Alabama folks too. Of course, you kind of had to because it's a little different environment down there. TLB says, I'm more interested in the development, success, and future of young athletes as competitors and as people than I am in a one-loss record. That's fair. Well, maybe so. That's probably true, Prometheus. You're right. It's probably evolved to that. I'm with you on that. But look at the environment that's been set up over there already. All these guys are going in there today, and even though it's true what Damien said that Franklin can't control what they write, they're kind of controlling the whole environment, aren't they? If you go through Merriman and don't do it the way we tell you to, you're out for good. So if you do write about something, when you have these veiled threats, if you will, coming down from the top, it does change how you go about covering your sport or your team. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's true. Media does ask stupid questions. They do. 100%. I've always tried not to. Just try to respect how coaches go. I let the flow of the conversation go. I don't like to – there are stupid questions. But the ones that are asking stupid questions are there for all the wrong reasons, or maybe they're told to. I think most of the horrible reporters you see, like, oh, here we go again, ESPN, wherever it might be, they're there for entertainment, to be kind of that different cog in the machine. I don't think if somebody's covering a team, like I don't think any of these guys, there's no way that Teal or Damien or Andy are going to ask empty, bad questions, you know. Andy's been covering Tech for how long? He did it from the national perspective for The Athletic. I mean, he knows what's going on, you know. Yeah, but you're already on the bad side of Franklin without even doing anything. He's already assuming you're on his bad side. See, that's the point, Prometheus. None of these guys have done anything against him, but they're already being treated as such. See, there's the whole crux of this thing. You telling me that David Teal, who's in 3 different Hall of Fames, the most decorated sports writer in the history of the Commonwealth, is a guy that you don't trust to go out and do his job? Maybe Franklin doesn't understand who he is, but Travis Wells does. I mean, there's a reason Whit Babcock sat down with him, a couple weeks ago. By the way, David's traveling today, so he couldn't. He's traveling to the presser, so he couldn't be on. But we'll have him on next week to talk about all these things. Tebow says Damien needs to head to PK's. Pride and the coaches are there a lot. Get some wings and fire away. Yeah, you're probably right. That might be the best thing to do. But then, you see, the problem is with that, Tebow, you can't write about it. Because then it comes across as an unsolicited conversation. And then if it shows up in a publication, then Pry is in Franklin's office explaining why he broke the rules. Trust me, that I know. And that's the way it is. I mean, they can't be, unless you have to preface it by saying this is off the record, and they'll say, hey, is this going to be on? So you probably won't get as much as you would think. But I understand what you're saying. Tito says I tried. No, your thought is right. I mean, you're right. If they're hanging out somewhere, hey, what's going on, man? How's it going? They'll talk to you then. But you see, that's the way it used to be, and it didn't matter. Now, some people on the text line, on the professional text line, said, well, maybe Coach Beamer was that way because Tech was winning. But no, he was a genuine dude. Winning obviously helped, but he treated people that way the whole time. Yeah. You must enter PKs from the back, though. Yeah, you can't walk in, and whatever you do, don't walk around the bar area, or you're out of there. Come on, everybody. You know that's bizarre. That whole thing that Damien just explained is bizarre. If you come through the wrong door, your access is shot. Really? Are you going to have constant signs then? Are you going to have like little follow this line, like in the hallway in elementary school? Remember the security police when you had to wear the orange? I was part of the security police. You had to wear the orange band. Do you think they're going to have those people there? You know, with the lights like the parking people have after a game. Nope, don't go in that door. Nope. Is there going to be an access denial meter above Merriman? That's a good one. You must enter PKs from the back. Wow. And like he said, too, if it's construction, then it's just say, hey, because of the construction, make sure you go in this way. You didn't need to add the veil threat about access denial. And there's no way that came from Travis Wells. No way. No way. Interesting. Very interesting. We're having our Rad 48, by the way. This is our fundraising for our programs where we don't have NIL. So we'll be doing that. It started yesterday. We've gotten off to a great start. We're doing it again today. I'll be doing the power hour in the weight room. So you should check it out. We'll be sitting there watching records be broken, and I'll be interviewing student athletes and so forth. It's something I always appreciate because when you work every day in college athletics and you hear about the things we've heard today and you see what happened with Duke and the money, and now all these programs very openly showing you how much money they're losing, you really start to lose faith in the whole process, man. The whole system is crumbling away into nothing. And it's what, you folks talk about. I mean, we're not having the qualities anymore in college athletics be in any way, shape, or form handled the same way that it used to be for young people. And now it's about everything about personal gain, material gain. And when I watch our young people, and we're unique at Radford because we're in that situation, we're not going to be have a softball team or a women's soccer team or a baseball team that's going to be funneled money. We have to go about these old ways of doing it. So it's interesting, but I do appreciate the hard work that our young people put in. It's what keeps me going in every day. Our track team, our women's track team, the young ladies there, the baseball guys are really, you talk about the most down-to-earth dudes. If you come out to and you should come out to Williams Field this spring. It's a great environment for baseball. The sunset with the river, it's one of the most beautiful settings. You should come out to a Radford baseball game. You should just hang out, and guys will talk to you. You can talk to AG, Alex Guerra. By the way, we're going to, beginning next week, we're going to have Alex on every week. And we're going to follow the whole Radford baseball season, going to get to know some of those guys. They've got several major league prospects. So that'll start next week, and I think you'll enjoy that. It's going to be kind of a look inside here on the show of how a season goes. Baseball. And so we're going to have Alex do that, and it would be great. It'll be great. So we'll be doing that today. So come hang out with us and check us out online. And maybe help our teams if you feel like it. Yeah, but he won't do that, Prometheus. Franken would never do a show with fans. Now, he's going to have to do the radio show, I'm guessing. I have not heard how that's going to be formatted. Tech Talk Live has been part of every coach's contract, so I'm guessing that'll be the one thing that he'll do every week once the season gets near. We'll find out from Burnup and Roth. I don't know. But I would guess that would have to be something he'll do. I can't imagine that would be waived. Playfly is the marketing partner over there. I can't imagine that they weren't in on that part of the contract because that's a big thing for them. I mean, you've got to have the head football coach on that show. It's never not been done, so maybe that'll be the one thing that you're talking about, Prometheus, right there. And if you can't sit down with Roth and Burnup and have a conversation, then I don't know. Merriman roped off like a 1970s New York City disco club. Oh, Wayne's packing heat this morning. With you officially having to qualify. What do you think? Maybe was that like in the disco clubs? Did you have to like do the hustle a certain way with the big vampire collars hanging over your shirt? Like what would force you to qualify? That's funny. Did you have to know the words to certain, like Ring My Bell? But yeah, we'll start with Alex next week. I mean, I think college baseball for me is going to be really the baseball that I'm going to pay attention to. I've washed my hands of Major League Baseball now. This whole thing with the Dodgers and this whole deferral, and enjoy it if you're a Major League Baseball fan. I think this will be the last season. You're not going to have a 2027 season. I really don't believe that. I think you're going to have a lockout because they're going to have a cap and they're going to have a floor. Because I saw, was it either yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. I saw where they've already done like the elimination of actual chances to do anything competitively when you look at the financial discrepancies. And there's only about 8 fan bases of all the teams that have a legitimate shot to think that they could be playing postseason baseball. And that's not the way it's supposed to go. Morris says, or at Tootsie Strip Club after a Miami Dolphins game. Your flyness qualifies you. That's funny. Oh, very cool, Ron. You got to talk to Troy Wells. Yeah, Travis's dad. Yeah. Travis is a great Highlander. That's cool. That's cool. That's very, very cool. I miss the old days when the coach was on TV Sunday morning to discuss the game. Yeah. Absolutely. Your flyness qualifies you. I like that. That's because Tech is about to rave. Well, you better hope so. That'll make everybody, like you said, maybe that's enough. Maybe it is. The losing creates so much of an acceptance of anything as long as winning is there, right? I get that. You're right. I'm not going to deny that. You can have all the great things in place with great people, but look at what they're just coming out of. Now, I think this has been exaggerated with Franklin in terms of like he doesn't need to be like this, but he chooses to be. But with Pry, you had access. He was a great guy. Maybe it's not a great example because it was his first head coaching job. Now, Fuente did not give you access, especially after he had the really good first year and pretty solid second year. But then when it started going badly, he cut it off immediately for good. And then, of course, we don't need to talk about how great Coach Beamer and his staff always were with access. But I get what you're saying. I do. I'm not unsympathetic to it. You're tired of losing. You're tired of losing. And you don't care if winning comes with, a coach that respects where he is as long as you win. I get it. I understand that. But I just think you have a responsibility to the community, don't you? I mean, you're making whatever he's making, $8 million, and plus he's got whatever else coming in. He's got more money he's ever going to need. He doesn't need any more money. None of them do. And you're coming to a place that Virginia Tech football is holy ground, man. It is the program that controls the engine to everything. And you have to come in with a lot of respect. And I'll tell you where it comes to me. This reminds me now, it's a different caliber of success as a coach. All right, Franklin won at Vanderbilt. He was winning at Penn State. They fired him. Maybe we're starting to see some of the reasons why. I don't know. But this reminds me a lot of when Justin Fuente came and he had no respect for anything here. You lived through it. You know I'm not exaggerating it. I had just started the show back. He'd been here a little while. He didn't care about the community. He didn't care about recruiting. He had terrible relationships with the high schools. Never went to Warwick High School. That's been well documented by Dwight. How many times? From Texas to Blacksburg. Started this whole trying to raise money to go out and guys who never worked out. Got rid of people in the building. Cut off media access. Never once tried to be part of the community, or at least that's the way it came across, of the community in which he was taking over, following the legend, the guy to follow the legend. Now you have a guy a couple coaches later coming in who's had success, who you think of in a certain way because of his record. And at least from a media perspective, hopefully it won't come across that way to fans. I think from Fuente, it really came across to fans. I heard from a lot of fans, and I think you felt pretty isolated. He didn't do a whole lot for the fans. Now, he did do the coaches show because he had to. And I don't know how Franklin feels about the actual area. Who knows? We haven't heard anything from him. We don't really know what he thinks about anything other than what he's dictating from information standpoint. Maybe today there's some insight provided. But I hope it doesn't become that whole I'm bigger than this place. I want this kind of support. I want a sold-out spring game. But what am I going to do to make the fans feel engaged? Are you still going to have fan days? Remember the women's days over at Tech football practice? Are they still going to do these things? I mean, you're paying season ticket money. It's not cheap. You're paying for a game you don't even get anymore if you have season tickets. You're entitled to a little rub, right? Or maybe you don't care anymore. Maybe it's gotten so bad from a program perspective, you're willing to waive all that. You're still going to support it as long as they win. And if you're in that spot, then you're not going to be bothered by any of this. I don't know. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Rebo says, I got a grade 1 pectoral strain pushing my car in the ice. Amen, brother. Whew. Amen. Christopher Lester says the fan base ran Pry and that staff out of town. No, losing ran Pry out of town. Right? I mean, if he'd have won, fan base wouldn't have been against him. All right. His record's what got him fired. Fans didn't get him fired. Yeah, well, I haven't heard that about Frank. We don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's been married a long time, so I guess that would say he's a good family guy. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. A buddy of mine spoke to Fuente in a store once, and he completely ignored him. I don't know any Tech people that want to see Franklin lose. Right? Penn State people want to see Franklin lose. We need Tech football to be good again. There's no question. Roddy says Fuente was like Matt Doherty at Carolina. He got rid of everybody, and it bit him. Yeah. That's a good comparison. Doherty wasn't well liked at all, was he? Morris says that his sister, when Franklin moves in the hood, will get him twisted and get some news. Wayne says, I support Frank if he wins, but also shows respect for school and fans. He started smartly by respecting the core, but I am wait and see mode. Well, you kind of have to respect the core. It's not like if you don't do that, then you are really starting out on a negative foot. If you don't recognize that, then, which is what bothers me so much about this whole VMI thing. I mean, you damn well better. But I get it. I mean, you've spoken. None of this matters to you, and that's fine. That's fine. I mean, you just want to win. You doesn't care what it looks like. You don't care if it's cutthroat. You don't care if he ever does anything for any of you as long as you win. And I understand that. I get it. Losing is you love the program. You're not worried about the people running it. You just love the program, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I get it. I think every coach has respected the cadets. Yeah, I think he made comments about it. Yeah, he did. Absolutely. I mean, you may not have self-awareness as a rich, arrogant coach, but if you don't have the self-awareness to understand that there's no group of students over there that deserves more respect than the core cadets, then I don't know what to tell you. I can't imagine coming in and disrespecting them. I know Pry did the same thing. He talked about them all the time. Heck, in one of our first interviews, he talked about when he was a GA for Coach Beamer, that's one of the things that they used to talk about, how much pride they took in that. So I think that's a given. As much as that means to that campus and the history and the lineage of that school, absolutely. Can you even imagine a Virginia Tech without what the cadets and what the core means? I can't. They go hand in hand, man. It's like peanut butter and jelly. I mean, you think about the basketball coaches done the same thing. Buzz Williams mentioned the cadets every press conference, it seemed like. But hey, I get it. You just want to win. So we'll see if he wins now. But what will winning look like to you? That's the question. Like, how quickly does it have to turn into an ACC contention? Are you going to be happy with 8 wins if they go 8-4 and play in some worthless bowl as long as things show progress? I'm guessing most fans will probably say that that's okay. I mean, what's the record need to look like for you? Let's say there's no controversies around the program. Things are going to operate the way Franklin's going to have them operate. But would 8-4 this year, as long as you see progress, would that make you feel placated? Right? Let me know. I mean, I don't know the answer. It's up to you. It's because you're making personal choices as fans. I mean, I don't know. Is it 9 wins? 9-3 do it for you? Not quite in the ACC title game? I mean, how many wins does it take for you to say this was right? See, we told you. Now, then the next year we're going to be right back into it. And in the ACC, clearly that's something that can happen pretty quickly because we just saw it. We just saw it with Virginia in basically 1 year. Maybe Tech can do it in 1 year like Virginia. I don't know. Duke won the title game. I mean, the league is pretty wide open. There's a lot of unknowns about it because we don't know how the rosters are going to look, how all the new coaches on staffs across the country are going to look. We don't know. But how many wins? Tell me, chat. I mean, I don't know. What are you looking for? People keep asking, what's my record prediction? I'm not doing that yet because I want to wait and see how these other teams look. I want to see what we get out of spring. I want to hear about health. How many more guys go in the portal after spring? I mean, what's going to happen with the development of these other teams? We just don't know yet. It's kind of hard to say. I mean, they're going to beat VMI. There's one win. But the rest, we'll wait and see. We don't know how all these players are going to look. We don't know how they're going to develop. Everybody's assuming it's going to be immediate big success. But you don't know that. You have to parlay all that. There's a lot of work that has to be put into it. Just because you get somewhere and you go out and he brought in a lot of guys he had prior relationships with at Penn State and all that. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. But let me know what you think. I'm not sure chat is working. Chat is, have you guys tried to chat? Let me test this thing. I saw a blip a minute ago here. Let's see. There we go. Test did work. I think we're okay. Yeah, I think we're okay. Sorry, getting good text messages on the professional door text line. Yeah, chat has delay. Yeah, chat's been weird. Yeah, I noticed that too. Here we go. And now here comes chat. Yeah, okay, I thought so. Sorry, guys. It's something with the thing today. I'll send them another note. It won't matter. Yeah, I've got like all these chats now. I thought so. So my apologies. Maybe the test had to do it. I don't know. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, when your VT class ring on the side mentioned the 8 stars for Medal of Honor, you better respect it. Yeah. Yeah, Buzz did have a lot of respect for the flag, the cord, the whole thing. He did. That was the one thing he was very adamant about. Prometheus says, I think fans all want to win first. We also want him to talk respectfully. Correct, which is what I'm talking about. I personally don't care about the access for me because the questions are softball anyways. Just be respectful. What's wrong with 8 wins year one? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is 8 wins enough? That's fine. 8-4? That's why I'm asking the question, Chris. I wasn't telling you 8 wins isn't enough. That's why I'm asking. I don't know. You tell me. I'll give him 3 years to get to 9 or 10 wins. Bowl in year one and build upwards from that. That's fair. Brian says 8 wins would be okay this year, but there better be at least 9 in the next. Well, what I mean by portal after spring's when you access your team, and anybody who's still left that you don't think is good enough, they're going to say, you need to think about leaving. Remember, that's when Coach Pry would come on and talk about those hard decisions you have to make about your roster. I think we need to be in the ACC championship game and have a shot at the playoff, 9-3, West says. Sorry about chat, everybody. I don't know. This mechanism, technology. But I have noticed some weird kind of blips. I don't know. I just checked the Ethernet connection. It's fine. I'm at 100%. We're raving. So it's something in this system that I pay a lot of money for. So if your chat's being delayed, sorry. We're about at the end of the show, so I'm not going to take the time to reboot it today. But if it happens tomorrow early, I will reboot everything and do it that way. So I think most fans would be okay with 8 wins first year. Problem is continuing to build is not really a thing in the portal era. And that's a good point, Jeff. Yeah. So let's say it is 8-4 and everybody's happy because that's progress and everything. You bring up a great point, and this is what I try to remind people of. The portal is a year-to-year thing, man. Everybody's roster. Everybody's roster. Hookie Bob, let's win the whole hog. Pull a Signetti. Well, that's the thing. Optimism, there's 2 reasons to be very optimistic, right? Because of the ACC as a whole and what it is as a conference, and because of what Signetti did. It's an outlier, but still. Prometheus says, I think we're all on a similar trajectory, 7 or 8 wins year 1, then 9 or 10 in year 2 or 3. I changed my expectations after 2024 debacle, Wayne says. Team on paper doesn't always translate. Correct. Morris says, what's wrong with you people? I want ACC championship first year. Playoffs and a Heisman hopeful. Get real. Chris says 8-4 in the regular season, win the bowl. Morris says my money's hard to come by. I didn't bring it down. I'll do it tomorrow. Oh yeah, the Georgia Tech fan. You don't always get what you want. Yeah, that's true. Life finds a way. Sorry, that's my very bad Jeff Goldblum impression from Jurassic Park. Life finds a way. That wasn't terrible. Anyway, I'll do it tomorrow, Morris. You brought I'm being nice, Steve. I'm just saying. You brought it up. I didn't. You got me a solid silver Bigfoot coin. I'll show that tomorrow. That thing's awesome. Thanks, Morris. You're awesome. Players don't even play in the bowl. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the bowl game doesn't really matter. I'm with you on that. 100% for me. The bowls don't mean jack anymore. With so many guys opting out, and it's just a sideshow. It's just the ratings to get advertisers to jump on ESPN since they control them all. A+ Goldblum, Rick. Thank you, Wayne. That's a movie, by the way. When we start Big Dog Pop, that's a movie that I will watch every time it's on. The original Jurassic Park, I love that movie. I think it still holds up. What's up, Hokey Bob? Don't talk to you enough. Tom Lillard said hello. Want me to tell you hello? I don't know, Andrew. No, Prometheus, sorry. Oh, no, I revealed his secret identity. I think the Bulls are going to move to the start of the season eventually. I think these coaches are starting to jump on board. So I think you're right. I don't know how you decide who plays them. I don't think it matters. They're just made for TV events anyway. I could see that happening. Did we give up when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no. I'll tell Tom you said, hey, I'll see Tom tonight at the Radford game. But I think that's going to happen for me. I think it doesn't make any sense, right? The bowls are so pointless now. The playoff, we kind of knew it was going to happen. We need an actual playoff. I think the playoff's going to end up at 16 teams in 2027. The playoff will be at 16 teams. And that's where it'll probably cap out. But, the Big Ten keeps trying to push for 24, which would be a disaster. The SEC won't allow that to happen, so they're going to compromise at 16. I can tell you how it's going to go. That'll lead into the new TV contracts, which will lead into the new changes in conference alignment and the last big mega deal we're going to see for a while in college football. And the SEC and the Big Ten are controlling the timeline for everybody else, just so you know. They're controlling it all. Hokey Bob, we were told you could sing. Yes, good question, Prometheus, because Prometheus apparently can jam. Or no, it's TLB that can jam. TLB is a guitarist. So, yeah. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel wherever you might be. Give us your support. We'd love to hear from you. Does Hokey Bob saying, what a question. Thanks to all of our sponsors again. We're at Wednesday already this week. Anybody excited about the Super Bowl? I'm not in any way, shape, or form. I've resigned myself to where I'm going to actually, I think, take the time to watch the game. But I don't have anything invested. It's just because it's the game itself, the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl has always meant so much to me. I write about it this week, by the way, in my column in the Patriot about the Super Bowl, what it has meant and what it meant at a younger age and what it's evolved into now. It's almost like the game is a sidebar in many ways. My greatest sports moment as a fan comes because of the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 32, January 25th, 1998. As a Broncos fan, we had lost 4 Super Bowls resoundingly. Played the Packers, who were 13-point favorites, the defending champs. They'd beaten the Patriots the first year. They had the reigning MVP, Brett Favre. They come down, and Antonio Freeman, Hokie fans, on the very first drive, catches a touchdown in the back of the end zone. Just like that, it's 7-0 Packers. And I'm thinking, well, here we go again. 0-5, baby. But then something happened by the name of Terrell Davis and that offensive line who just wore down the Packers up front. John Elway and the helicopter spin. And then John Mobley stepped in front of the 4th down and 7 pass from Brett Favre just beyond midfield. I believe it was intended for Mark Chmura. And when that ball hit the turf and I saw the celebration, I just broke down and collapsed on the floor. Couldn't believe it. And as a sports fan, that's why you put all this stuff into it. I mean, you think about that. It was 27 years ago. I was a young man. Never thought the Broncos would win a Lombardi trophy, especially against a team like that, but they did. And they beat the Packers that day. And I just remember collapsing in my living room, just tears streaming down my face. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. And I'm guessing that's, the same kind of vibe that I'm getting in chat today for Tech football. You want to just see them be prominent and win again. We should have Hokey Bob open each morning with the national anthem. We could put TLB, Bob on, let them join in, and when we start, have them just do the anthem every day. Why not? I could put a flag up on the screen. All right, everybody, great stuff today. Thanks for the conversation. Thanks to Ron Shelburne and Kion Brown. What a way to get started today, man, right? Right off the bat. What a great story from Ron. What a great first hour. You go back and watch, man, you're going to love it. KB was awesome as always, and so was Damien Sordelett. And thanks to you. Marty and Rags next week, next Wednesday. Coach, hope you feel better. He's having hernia surgery or had it yesterday, so I hope he starts to feel better. Thanks to all of you so much for your support. Always great to visit with you. Thanks to our sponsors. We'll see you tomorrow on the Thursday edition, everybody.